Heyo everybody, Haku here with the fourth and final part of the Tower of God Zahard's Princesses Explained series. And if you haven't seen this, I am going over each of the princesses that we know so far and what we know of them so far. If you want to see the previous 14 princesses that I think it's been 14 that we've done so far, or the general explanation, go look at the past 3 episodes. They will be in a playlist that of course will be in an annotation, probably which side, over here I think, at the end of the episode. But yeah, go look at those 3 if this is the first one you're seeing, I guess. But this is going to be the final one. We're going to finish out the last, I think, 6 or 7 known ones that we have not gotten to yet, so let's go ahead and get into them. First up is Pondo Zahard, and Pondo Zahard was a formal princess, a ranker, and she was part of the team sent to subdue Eurasia and Zahard, to capture her and stuff, along with Kun Masheni Zahard, and they were successful, of course, eventually, with the help of rumored help of Haste Zahard and Zahard himself, to have subdued her. Next up is Rebecca Pone Zahard, also a member of the Eurasia N retrieval team. She died during the Eurasia N incident by being killed by Eurasia N. So yeah, R.I.P. Rebecca Pone. She was a princess we never got to meet. But maybe, hopefully, someday we'll see a flashback to the Eurasia N incident. That would be very interesting, in my opinion. Next is a princess that we have seen, and that would be Jaina Repelista Zahard. One of the top waifus, but she pretty much just sits in her darkened room, watching the entire tower through her lighthouse, which is incredible, and it means she's one of the most well-informed people living in the tower. She even seems to know about the Prince of Zahard. Now, Jaina Repelista Zahard has never been interested in climbing the tower, and is also the only current princess who has not started climbing the tower or already completed climbing it. But it seems like she might not always be that way, because we don't know how long Andrasi was a princess before she started climbing, because Andrasi was 300 years old when she started climbing. So Jaina maybe could one day climb, but has not yet. But if she did, she would likely be one of the most powerful light bearers in the tower, because she owns one of the 3 opera made by Tupari, and given to her by Tupari, who is the strongest and the first light bearer in the tower. Also, an interesting bit of information about Repelista Zahard is that Evan Edrock, who is a very powerful guide, said that she never lies, and he said, emphatically, that she never lies. So she seems to be a very trustworthy source of information, and things that we as fans hear from her are likely to be true. They're not really things that I think SIU is misleading us with, where the character is lying or the character is wrong. And I think it's very, very interesting that happens a lot in Tower of God, that I like. That how SIU uses lies well, where we think that things are true about this tower and about characters and about the universe of it, and we find out it's not true, and you could think for a minute, oh, that's a plot hole, but no, it's because the things that were told by the characters, we find out pretty often that the character is lying, or the character's misinformed and doesn't really know, and I think that's a really interesting thing to do. So it's also interesting to bring up here that Repelista is known as someone who does not lie. Next up is Yulia Zahard. Yulia Zahard was a princess from one of the 10 great families, and the only thing we know about her is that sometime in the past, Reflejo looked at her, and because he looked at her, the Zahard Empire slaughtered his family and sewed his eyes shut, and that's what set Reflejo on his path of vengeance, joining FUG against the 10 families and Zahard. Next is Uram Zahard, who was a formal princess, meaning she was a ranker, and she was even the owner of the Indigo July. So she was powerful enough to have been granted one of the 13-month series. Also, she was from the same generation and family as Garam Zahard. And since they were from the same generation of the same family, having the same generational name, that means that Yuram Zahard was either Garam Zahard's aunt, niece, cousin, or sister. So they were very closely related. But sometime before the Eurasia N incident, Garam Zahard killed Yuram Zahard and took her Indigo July. Next is Uni Zahard, another ranker and formal princess who was part of the Eurasia N retrieval team, and she was killed by Eurasia N while trying to capture her, just like Rebecca Pone Zahard was. And lastly, for this entire thing, is an unnamed Bia family princess. Lopo Bia Ren, back in Volume 1, tried to sabotage Andrasi climbing the tower and her progress climbing the tower because he wanted to make it easier, like less competition or whatever, for the Bia family princess that was currently climbing. So we know that there is a Bia family princess out there someday. Maybe we will run into them. And lastly, before I end this, I want to say that these were 21 princesses. 20 if you don't count Anak Zahard the child as a real princess. And SIU said in the blog a long time ago, I think way back in Volume 1, that there were 28 princesses, but 8 were missing. Now, I don't know if that means 28 alive, or that there have only ever been 28, and that the 8 missing ones, even the translator said that missing was an odd word. So I'm thinking, maybe if there have only ever been 28, that we know the 20 that aren't missing, and the 8, maybe they mean that the records of them are missing, or maybe the 8 missing are the ones that are dead or missing, and say we have 6 that we know that are dead. I think it's somewhere around there. 6 that are dead or sealed away, and that would leave us with like 14 that we know of. That means that there's 6 we haven't met yet, and 4 more that or 2 to 4 more that are dead that we haven't learned about yet. So I'm not sure what it means. The translation's a bit weird. So just pointing that out, that's why that even though it says there are 28, that's why we only know these 21 so far. 20 again if you don't count Anak as a real princess. So thank you all for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this series. Definitely leave a suggestion of what you want me to do next. If you just want Saturdays to be a normal theory or discussion, or if you want another series, because if you have any ideas, I would love to take them on. So, or even if it's something non-Tower of God related, we do already have another day that we could do, Thursday, for Tower of God stuff. So if you want to only do one theory or discussion a week and then do something else for that other day, definitely leave suggestions. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say. So yeah, like if you like it, comment down there with your suggestions if you have any. Tell me what you thought of these princesses, or my few thoughts on them here and there. If you have any insight into anything. Subscribe for more Tower of God, One Piece, The Walking Dead, and a bunch more. Again, thank you all for supporting the channel so far. Follow on Twitter as well if you want, because I'll keep you updated on when I'm posting stuff or pushing anything back there. And feel free to tweet me on Twitter and I'll answer you there too. And other than that, I guess that's everything. Thank you so much. I once again really hope you enjoyed the series. I enjoyed making it. And I'll see you all next time.